episode of Jay Leno's Garage. You know, there are some cars that are so exotic and so rare, I never thought I would ever get them in the garage. And this is one of them. This is the Koenigsegg. This is that legendary automobile that you've read about, you've heard about. You know, everybody thinks they can build a supercar. First, everybody wants to, then everybody thinks they can. And some people come close, but very few actually do it. And Christian Koenigsegg has managed to do it amidst all the skeptics in Sweden. Yeah, a car from Sweden. Isn't that 3-cylinder with the 2-stroke engine? Yeah, yeah. Well, let's meet Christian. Christian, come on in here. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, it's an honor to meet you. I've read about your exploits in all the European magazines and all the American magazines, and it's great to see this car finally here in America. It is a beautiful hand-built automobile. You know, people always say, oh, what's the need for cars like this? Well, cars like this raise the standard of all other cars. There's a level of build quality and technical superiority that just makes, you know, it's like the water raises all boats, that kind of thing. And it's just something to aspire to. This is just a beautiful, beautiful automobile. Tell us a little bit about the history of the company. Now, you were quite young when you started it, correct?
Yes.
Well, you're quite young now. How old are you now?
37.
He's 37 years old. All right, thank you. What was I doing when I was 37?
Yeah, I was 22 when I started.
Okay.
But actually I was more like 5 years old, I guess, when I had my dream to build my own car. I saw this Norwegian stop-motion film called Pinchcliffe Grand Prix.
Yeah.
About a bicycle repairman who built his own race car on a mountaintop in Norway and raced kind of a Le Mans race. And I remember walking out of the theater thinking, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
And the fact you've been able to do it is pretty amazing. I remember when you first came on the scene, there was a lot of, what? I mean, the skeptics are what really must annoy you and drive you crazy.
Well, I kind of expected it, of course.
Yeah.
It is a crazy idea, but I want to do it anyway.
Well, you know, and the thing is, you know, there are so many charlatans out there. There's so many people that, oh, I'll take an engine from this and I'll take a transmission from that and I'll build a super. They have no idea. And you're an engineer by trade, correct?
Yeah, well, I've learned to become one,
I guess. Right, okay. So tell us about the car.
It's a fully hand-built, of course, fully carbon fiber monocoque, mid-engine. What was one of the ideas we had originally, which we kept for all our car models, is this detachable hardtop.
Right.
It kind of looks like it wouldn't even fit in the front, but it actually does. That took a lot of engineering to get that in there. And we actually have the largest luggage space of any supercar, so it's kind of practical. And you get two cars in one. It's really a true coupe. You don't get any sign of that you can take the roof off. But when it's off, it's a true kind of a speedster look with two speedster humps. It's very low drag on the car. It started out very minimalistic supercar, and over the years, of course, we added features, aerodynamic features and so on. And this is one of the latest iterations, the Trivita. It's only 3 made. Trivita means 3 whites in Swedish. So we have this proprietary white carbon fiber weave.
This is just beautiful. Look at this done. I've never seen this before. So you're only building 3 of these?
Of this particular white carbon car.
So the club meetings, you don't need a whole lot of room, really.
No.
Yeah, so if everybody if all the owners get together, you can pretty much do it in a hotel room.
More or less.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. This is like, I don't know what the equivalent would be. Owning the Hope Diamond. I don't know what it would be. But you know, it's an automotive artifact. You know, I always keep reading that there are no great cars built after 1974. All the good stuff is in the 60s and the 50s. But you know, that's not really true. This is a car that will be prized years and years and years in the future. You know, so many cars now, it's so hard to meet the regulations and everything has to be standardized, and it's a real testament to your ability and your tenacity just to get it built. Show people how the door opens. This is fascinating.
Yeah. It's double synchro helix actuation doors.
Okay, give me that. Double synchro helix
actuation
doors. There you go, right there. Good day, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, so it's actually a practical feature because the door is very wide, because the carbon monocoque is wide.
Yeah.
And we wanted to have a narrow cockpit area to reduce frontal area for the drag. So if we would have opened this door normally like we did on our first prototype, it would have moved out to here somewhere and you would still have a worse ingress than now. Now it's completely open.
Yeah, that's beautifully done. And I must say, you know, I'm someone who, I take a great deal of pride when I see an American manufacturer build something in America. So I imagine in Sweden, you must be a national hero. I mean, kids must look up to you, because I think of the Saab Sonnet and a few other sporty cars. But for those auto enthusiasts in Sweden, and I know you're a modest guy, but I mean, there must be a great sense of pride that this car is built in their homeland.
I think we're getting there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think you're there. I think you're there. And I like how you keep saying it's practical. Is that so the guy can explain to the wife, honey, it has more luggage space than any supercar. And look, you can get in and out easily.
Get in and out, exactly.
You have to do that. But yeah, beautifully, beautifully done. Just the level of finish and the level of detail here. This is how you open the...
Yeah, you just pop that and you pop the rear.
And tell us about the engine.
Yeah, so it's custom built aluminium V8, dry sump lubrication, double overhead camshaft. In this iteration it's 4.8 liter with twin supercharger. Complete with exhaust manifold and supercharged, it weighs 198 kilos, whatever that equates to in pounds, I'm not sure. But it's a light engine considering, in this case it runs on biofuel and has 1,018 horsepower. And what we're very proud of is that it's completely hand-built, especially for this car with a bespoke block that we cast in England and machine in Sweden.
1,018 horsepower. Now the Bugatti Veyron is also 1,000 horsepower, quite a bit heavier, correct?
Oh yes.
Almost twice as much?
I would think so, twice the size and twice the weight.
Okay, so let's do the math there, okay? It doesn't take a genius. Power to weight ratio. This is 1,000 horsepower. The Bugatti Veyron, at least up to this point, was the fastest car in the world, at almost twice the weight with the same horsepower. So I think, and it's rear-wheel drive.
It is rear-wheel drive.
I'm not a big, I mean, I like four-wheel drive, but I have to admit I like being able to sort of slide it out a little bit. Tell us about the transmission.
Yeah, so in this case it's a transversal semi-automatic paddle shift gearbox with super synchronization, 30 millisecond shift time. It's developed by us in conjunction with X-Track, specialist in racing gearboxes originally. Again, lightweight, can take 1,100 Newton meters of torque. Very fast. We were considering dual clutch, but with this super synchro system, we get much less weight and similar shifting time.
Right.
So again, a more minimalistic approach.
And incredible bracing here for strength. Look at all of this here, the way this comes. And this all obviously unbolts to take the engine out if you need be. These are cooling ducts here, obviously, for the brakes. What are the brakes?
And the ceramic brakes, AP Racing calipers, bespoke for the car, 400 millimeter discs in the front, 38 millimeters wide, 380 in the rear, 34 millimeters wide. Racing ABS Bosch system, so very, very, very good brakes, of course.
Okay, so you've got an ABS system in it.
Yes, we got dual airbags, ABS, traction control, hydraulic lifting system.
And the car is legal here in America?
It is. Yes.
Okay, and the fact you actually had to crash test one of these, didn't you?
We had to do 18 crash tests. Fortunately, we didn't have to crash 18 cars.
Right. And again, it's this, it's this level of detail. For those of us that are not craftsmen but enjoy craftsmanship, it's just beautifully, beautifully done. I mean, every little nut, every little bolt. This is the kind of car, even if you're not driving it, you can just go in your garage and sit down, have a glass of wine, just sort of look at the car, and look, your eye falls to all the beautiful little details here, how nicely everything is put together. Yet it's accessible, So many modern cars, you open the hood and there's this big sheets of plastic, and you can't see the internals of it. I mean, to me, this is like opening the back of a beautiful handmade watch. You can see all the gears, all the pieces. You see how everything is put together. Nicely done here. How many speed did you say it was?
This is 6-speed.
6-speed.
But we also have a 7-speed coming out in the...
Oh, and a 7-speed as well. Yeah. Okay, I might want to wait for the 7-speed, but 6-speed is, I can live with the 6-speed. Let's move around to the front of the car as well. Let's take a look at that massive luggage compartment.
I will open it up for you.
Honey, if we go on a trip, this would be the perfect car for a trip because it has the biggest luggage compartment of any supercar.
It's 120 liters, so it's like basically like a Porsche 911. But you can actually fit golf clubs, which is kind of unusual because we have this shape. This is the shape of the roof.
Everybody fits golf clubs. Most supercar guys I know would rather drive their car than play golf. Do you play golf?
No, I don't.
No, I don't know any supercar guys. I'm sure they're out there that play golf. And the roof fits right in here.
Yeah, it slides in like a bread in a toaster, basically, underneath here. So we had to actually engineer the whole front of the car to fit the roof. Then here we have a little kind of toolkit. You have tire pressure. This is the roof lock. this is kind of a good tool if you have a problem instead of stupid screwdriver that never fits to anything.
Right, right, right. And what we have here is...
That's power steering fluid.
Power steering
here
fluid.
we have just wiper fluid.
But again, I like that everything is kind of hand knurled aluminum. Explain what this is here.
Yeah, you fill up the coolant for the engine.
Okay.
And as it is a aluminium and titanium container, you can't see the inside.
Okay.
So this is the minimum cold level at this height.
see.
Now it's a bit warm, so it's gone up a bit.
Okay, I see. So you can check your fluid level from outside. I've never seen that in any other car. That's not, you know, whenever I take my cars out, I always open the radio. I always just check my fluid level. So it's nice that you're able to do that.
We have an interesting feature on the dry sump oil tank, which is also kind of usually difficult to check the level. So you flip up the bonnet,
Yeah.
and then you have normal dipstick for
I
the
see.
dry sump.
Very good.
So we have a patent pending on this instrument cluster. We call it a chrono dial. It's like a watch, basically. You have the RPM on the outer scale, and you have speed and boost pressure.
Well, how many pounds of boost?
It's about 22 pounds of boost.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good. And what do you use for engine oil? Do you just run a mobile one or a special
We use
oil?
Valvoline. I'm not sure about the exact specification.
Like a 2050, just put standard
yeah,
motor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You run a synthetic?
Yeah, synthetic. Then we have this kind of infotainment system here. It tells the rear bonnet is open.
Right.
Tells the door is open. iPod, USB connection, sat nav. Let's see.
You know, that's
Performance meters.
so many supercars kind of get let down a little bit in the interior department because they're so expensive to do in terms of the engineering that they kind of cut corners. Not this car.
This is the key to the car.
Oh, I see. And it fits in the...
It has a special pocket there too.
And what is this? What is the symbolism on here?
It's my family crest.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like the sword and the stone, you know, where the guy puts the thing in and you go, oh!
This is a main battery switch.
Oh, so you have
accessible.
battery disconnect on and off.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. You know, so many modern cars with the computers, you can't really put a battery disconnect switch on because
That's true.
everything gets all screwed up.
We have a memory keep alive battery for the computer.
Oh, very
separate.
nice, very nice. Have you got a website that people can go to?
Yeah, it's Koenigsegg.com.
Okay, now you have to spell it because
Okay.
no one in America is going to know.
It's KOENIGSEGG.com.
Well, it's probably time to go for a ride.
So here you see the Koenigsegg crest here.
Right.
That's a safety button.
Okay.
That's ignition, that's starter. They don't work unless you press that first and hold it in simultaneously as you press that
Oh, you
one.
press these two.
Like this. And then
Okay.
to start like that.
I love the way the door closes. Watch this. Pull that along. See, the cool thing about this, I never got a chance to meet Enzo Ferrari or W.O. Bentley, but to meet the guy whose name is on the car, it's so fascinating to me. And they speak English.
I'll lift up the car.
You know, why more people don't do this? To me, I've got a Carrera GT. I love the car, but I can't drive it anywhere because they keep ripping the front end off. I mean, I love this lift system. And the fact that this car is so light, even with all these things on it as well, is a testament to its engineering. The nice thing is, it's a road car. You can drive like a race car as opposed to the other way around. So many race cars, you're on the road and bang, every bump, it just sort of, you can feel it through your back or your tailbone. This thing rides very, very nicely.
The power really comes on like 4.5, 5, 6,000,
Right.
and the rev limit is 7.5.
As you can see, other drivers look at it and go, what is that? This is one of those cars you just don't see. You know, that's what makes it cool. I mean, I've read about it. You know, I get all the European magazines and I'd always see it in these exotic locations. So it's great to have one here in Southern California, because this is kind of the car capital of the United States. If you can't meet a girl in this car, I'm sorry. You can't meet any girls. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. I'm in second gear right now. Let's see. Our gauges are warming up nicely. problem is everybody's driving slower than you. Nice size steering wheel, 4 valve per cylinder.
Yeah.
Twin cam.
Yes.
4.8 liter displacement.
Twin supercharged. We have a patented supercharged technology with a response system, so you don't have any delay or lag.
Right.
It's like a normally aspirated engine. You hardly hear the supercharger, you know.
Right, I don't hear it hardly at all. Again, the nice thing is you can drive it like a normal car. Oil temperature, water temperature, nothing goes crazy. Obviously this is a customer's car, so you don't want to beat on it too hard, but even just getting on the throttle and just rolling it on, the incredible torque, the incredible pull. Just imagine, same power as a Bugatti with about half the weight. That's all you gotta know. I mean, I like the fact that we're sitting in traffic here in Los Angeles on a hot day, and your temperature gauges are dead straight, nothing moves. When people bring cars that are limited production, well, don't worry about it, we're going to fix that later. Oh, wait, once we get it rolling, we will,
Right.
Yo, the brake won't be that hard, or the steering will be different, or the shifter. This is a finished, complete automobile. This is exactly as it would be if you got it off the showroom floor. I know how hard it is to do anything in limited production. You know, we make all our own stuff at the shop. You've seen it on our CNC
Absolutely.
and on our mills. So we know to make one little piece, it's hours and redesign and hours. And yet to do a whole automobile like this, it's a real credit to you. There's just so much more power there than you can use on the street. And it, you know, you just touch the throttle and you feel it leap. So it's a pretty amazing automobile. Well, as you saw from our little test drive, we can't beat on this car the way we can somebody. This belongs to somebody else. He was kind enough to let us borrow it. There are only 3 of these cars in existence. 2 are sold. There's only 1 left. So if you want that one, you'll have to give you a call. But it's wonderful to see this kind of handmade craftsmanship in this day and age, because there's so many government things and rules and regulations. It's just, you pull your hair out. Well, you pull your hair out trying to get them done, as you can see.
Right.
But Christian, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you come by. Please come back again. And I know our friend Justin Bell is coming over to Sweden, and he was going to do a high-speed test drive in the car.
Yep.
When that comes up, we'll get you footage on that. But keep your eye on Koenigsegg. It's really one of the most exciting automobiles out there, and it's a real car. It isn't one of these. Please don't confuse it with all these people doing replica cars and all this kind of nonsense. This is a real automobile engineered from the ground up. My favorite part, this little hinge right here, I just love. There's so many little details on this car to enjoy. So Christian, thank you very, very much, and please come back and see us again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great
Thanks a
pleasure
lot.
being here.
See you next week.
Mm-hmm.